Filipinas. Welcome to our The Teacher Voice. This is an hour show that gives teachers the opportunity to talk on air about their unforgettable journey, their thrilling adventures, to share their splendid wisdom, and to inspire and give hope to our listeners and viewers. This show airs by the Philippine Las Vegas radio station located in the heart of Las Vegas every Saturday at 6 p.m. Pacific Time and 9 p.m. Eastern Time. And in the Philippines, it's 9 in the morning of Sunday. I am teacher Judy, your host, and my co-hosts for tonight are teacher Pacita Ross. They're in New York.
Hi, how are you?
And yes, we are fine, Tita Josie. And I mean Tita Pasit. And now we have Tita Josie Harrison of Las Vegas.
Hello, how are you all? Thank you for staying with us and watching Teacher Voice.
True. Tita, this is very inspiring, correct?
Yes.
To have teachers here online that we are waiting to introduce them to the whole world.
Yes.
Because of their inspiring journey that can inspire us and give us a message of hope, especially to our students.
Yes.
And tonight, we have a very awesome man that I will introduce to you later, guys. He is currently the cluster head of humanities and social sciences composed of the College of Arts and Sciences and Education and College of Criminology, and currently the head of the Research and Development Center of UPHSD Calamba. He also handles psychology, education, and research subjects in the graduate school of this school. He previously served as research director, academic officer, guidance counselor, and office of the student's administrator. He is a doctor by profession and is a product of Alasalian K-12 education system, and has BS and Master of Science in Psychology, Masters in College Teaching, and Doctor in Curriculum and Instruction degrees. Dr. Amihan is actively engaged in education and research as a professor, editor and reviewer, international lecturer, panelist, advisor, and research. His research achievements include winning in 2017, 2018, 2019, and even in 2020 in the National Research Competition by the Philippine Association of Colleges and Universities Commission and Accreditation, the largest accrediting body in the country, in the Philippines. And he is internationally recognized for his leadership in education, having been awarded for excellence in e-learning during the 2018 World Education Congress, and as among the 100 most dedicated professors during the 2019 World Education Congress at Mumbai, India. He was tapped by the Ministry of Culture and Education of the Embassy of Indonesia in the Philippines to deliver series of lectures during the 2019 Indonesian Education Day. Ladies and gentlemen, without an ado, Shielilo Amihan, Doctor of Education of
Instruction.
Yes,
everything,
right.
doctors of everything.
Doctors of everything, masters of everything. Welcome, Dr. Shielilo Amihan.
Yes,
And I am very proud to tell you that he is one of my professors. Yes, Doc, good evening here in New York, and good morning there. Yes, good morning there in the Philippines. Wow.
Well, good day.
Oh.
Good day, teachers. Good day to everyone.
So, Doc, it's your time for greeting
Great.
your
Yeah.
friends in there.
Mm-mm.
It's your
Yeah,
time now to greet.
yeah. Thank you for this opportunity. Of course, I wish to greet everyone in the Philippines and all over the world, especially those who are aligned to our advocacies of really educating the youth so that we could have a sustainable future. So I'm trying to reach out to as many audiences as possible, and this is a nice platform. And hopefully through this, I would be able to really reach further and influence more lives.
Yeah. Very good.
True, true. Wow. That
Yeah.
is what we are inspiring the people.
Exactly. Mhm.
Okay.
Yeah.
How about Tita Josie? Tita Josie, we will
Well,
grill Dr. Shilelo
yes,
this
I just
time
want to
of all the
say that
questions.
when you sleep at night, Dr. Amihan, do you know exactly what is your first thing in your schedule, what to do? Either you're gonna be here, you're gonna be there.
True.
There.
Amazing, amazing.
Everywhere.
But I salute you. I mean, for a person to really do the best and reach for the best and to be able to help others, I salute you, sir. Thank you so much.
Thank you
True.
for those
True.
nice words. Thank
Mhm.
you.
Yeah. So, Tita Pasit.
Yeah. Yeah. You have a very interesting career, as an educator and everything else. Anyway, yeah, what strikes me very much is okay. I agree with Josie. Yeah, you have done and are doing a lot of things for education in the Philippines, and like she does, I also salute you for that. My question now is, being a cluster dean, where you have some colleges, under your responsibility. How does it? How is it like? What do you exactly do as a cluster dean? And can you tell us about some of the challenges you have for being one?
Okay. Well, in general, it's more of a supervisory designation. I
Mhm.
need really to take care of those different programs under my cluster. Although they would have assigned a specific person handling and ensuring that the targets would be met for each specific program. However,
Uh-huh.
it's really a different challenge here in higher education. I'm connected with higher education is because not everyone in higher education are really educators. We would start with that.
Yeah,
Okay?
I agree.
Those who
Uh-huh.
are
I love that. I
educators,
love that.
yes,
Uh-huh.
those who really are trained to be educators and are licensed educators are under the College of Education. It's because they took the training, the formal training, and they're now engaged in higher education, performing their profession. However, other colleges, of course, would have teachers, and unfortunately, they may not really be professionally trained, formally trained to being such. So they may be incidental professors and others. So when you try to look in a larger context, we in the cluster having the College of Education would somehow serve as the main promoter, the main decision maker, or the main cluster who would make recommendation. And true enough, we would have more influence with regards to making academic policy decisions. When it comes to curricular decisions, then there would
Mhm.
always be that discussion. And there's actually that general consensus that whatever the cluster would say, since we have the College of Education, pertaining to matters related to academics,
Yeah.
pertaining to matters related to curriculum and education in general, then they would really listen to us. And it's a nice thing. It's because
Uh-huh.
we are on that position of authority. And that's
Yeah.
what the
Right.
cluster has really more over the other clusters. Since we have many clusters here in the university, we have the
Oh, okay.
allied health cluster, we have the business cluster, we also have the technology cluster, merging
Mhm.
technology and engineering, and all of those clusters would have their deans who are licensed engineers, who are licensed nurses, who are
Correct.
Yeah.
licensed
Uh-huh.
medical
Yeah.
technologists and others. However, they may not really be licensed teachers. So
Correct,
that's
correct.
where I come in. So I somehow serve as a watchdog. Of course, since I value education, I would want to really preserve high quality standards in
Right, right.
education.
Uh-huh.
So it's really on me, my responsibility.
Okay. Yeah. Now, what I get from you is that, and I agree very much with you, a teacher, no matter what level, has to have the content knowledge and the procedural knowledge. Because no matter how excellent this music teacher is, if she doesn't have the pedagogy, I don't think she will be or he will be very successful at having the students really learn how to appreciate the art.
Yeah, yeah.
So she might know the G clef, those things about music, but not how to get the students to love, or even like appreciate music. So I agree with you. Content knowledge and procedural knowledge is what you are looking for or trying to develop as a cluster dean. Is that correct?
Yes, and we are trying to cascade that to the other clusters as well.
Very
A
good.
combination of content and pedagogical knowledge.
Very good. Very good. Yeah, I look forward to that because I'm sorry, in college, she probably was a very good musician or music content, person, but she did not make me love, music, especially classical music. It's only now that I'm old that I'm learning to like, the classics. So thank you for that. That's very good information. And I'm very hopeful about our higher education. Thank you.
Wow, thank you. Tita Josie from Las Vegas. Don't be quiet there. We
Yes,
want to hear from you too.
I have a question. Your positions. I mean, in every angle, of education.
No.
I mean, you're there. You're a lecturer, you are an advisor, you are a researcher, and you are
Etc.
a head of
etc.
research and development center. I mean, what is there left for you to know? I mean, you are great. I mean, you
What
know
is it
everything.
that you don't know?
Yes.
What is there that you don't know? Yeah. I mean, my question is, you were among the 100 most dedicated professors. I mean, what was the category in that? What was judged in what you know or talent
Right.
or whatever?
The qualifications.
Qualification.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
Yeah, quite honestly, I was a bit surprised, of course, with the news. It's because there was no application, there was no nomination, and when I was
Oh.
informed, it was really based on an external jury. So they
Oh.
had my name already. It's because I was already part of that previous World Education Congress the year before that through the e-learning an
Oh,
award
okay.
for e-learning. It's because I was always promoting not really much on the platform, not really much on the technical expertise on it, but I was really promoting on uh, humanizing education regardless of the platform, and most especially now that we are too much dependent already in technology, we should not lose sight of our main purpose of education, which I'll be highlighting earlier. It's really educating the heart. It's really educating the soul, and it should not be lost even if we would be
Right.
dependent on technology. So I was not really aware of the specific criteria that they used. What I was aware, of course, was with the surprise that I was among the selected as among the 100 most dedicated professors, and
Oh.
there
Wow.
were only a few from the Philippines to note. For the first installment, we were only three from the Philippines. One was from LaSalle, another one was from Ateneo, and I was the third one. On the second year, when I got the award for the 100 most dedicated professors, I think we were less than five
From
also.
the
So,
Philippines.
yes, from the Philippines. So it's
That's
really
sad.
something, yes.
That's sad. Mhm. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, no matter how good e-learning is, it is not a substitute for that warm body in the classroom, because the these digital things, platforms, they really will not know how the child is feeling, how the child is doing at a particular time. So you just keep going, teaching and teaching on your, doing your digital learning. Yeah, children will suffer
Yeah,
somehow from that.
but we really need to adjust. It's because now we are experiencing that emergency remote learning.
Of
We are
course.
we are doing this just so that learning would continue. However, as teachers, we should always look for ways to connect,
Exactly.
regardless of whether it's face to face, warm body, or we could also show warmth through our instruction, even in the virtual platform.
Setting. Oh,
There should
okay,
be that
okay.
push. There should be that push for the teachers. However, it would never substitute, of course, the face to face, the physical
Correct. Correct.
component of it. But we should be maximizing everything
Mhm.
that's within our control because of the restrictions.
Yeah,
Exactly.
okay, yeah.
Uh-huh. Yes.
If
Doc.
you would remember Ram Buena,
Yeah.
remember we
Yeah,
interviewed
yeah.
him? And Dr. Amihan, he has the same message that we had so much technology, how advanced, how complicated there are and involved. But he really emphasized that if you will make it a point that you will kind of get away from that technology and make it more personal to get the students' interest. I think he emphasized on that being with them at that moment is different than being with the technology itself. And
Yeah.
I think that's great. That's great.
Right.
Yeah.
True, true. That's why in the pictures in here of Dr. Amihan submitted to me, that he submitted to me, I am very touched on this, Doc. The true purpose, you said in here, the true purpose of education is the refinement of the soul. That was,
Oh, right. Yeah.
you're right. That is the reason why your advocacy is not just only the digital that we have to learn through the electronic way, but we need to educate the soul of the learners. So, also, Doc, I want you to share about your roots and what made you very enthusiastic, passionate in education. Since
Yeah.
then, you have that passion, even when you were young.
We would always say that teachers would either make or break the lives of the students. And I was
Right,
part
right.
of it. My life was not broken, of course. My life was inspired by the teachers that I had then. It's
Correct.
Okay.
because I saw their desire and I felt their connection and I felt really the inspiration, and I would attribute all my success because of how they started. I became inspired. So that really sparked somehow my interest in becoming like them, to be able to influence the lives of other people through education, of course. And not all remarks were positive. I must admit, when I was in high school, I really received lots of negative comments. But somehow those negative comments were still part of my inspiration to be
Correct.
successful in life. It never really hindered me. Somehow those were inspirations. I never really had ill feelings against those professors. No professor is perfect. I should say that they are also human beings. And I also take that into consideration when I'm now as a teacher. I know that I have my strengths. I also know that I have my weaknesses. It's
Yeah.
just a matter of showing to the students that you're also human. But what's really important is providing that
Great.
genuine care, which I
Very
really
good.
felt when I was young.
Yeah,
That's good.
that is true. That's
Very
true.
good. Yes, yes.
Uh-huh.
So, Doc, what is your message to the teachers who are listening right now about what you are talking? Can
Yeah, just
you,
like
yes,
yes, just try to focus on your advocacy. And if your advocacy would really be aligned to the main purpose of education, which is really to humanize education, not really much of salary, not really much on making a living, although those are part.
Uh-huh.
But if you really are concentrated on that, and you would get into the profession knowing that those are your responsibilities, then stick with it. Even if in the Philippines there are so many problems confronting education, there may be problems with regards to support, there may be problems with regards to salary and so on. And if you would focus your attention on those things, then
Yeah.
you would really not be directed towards your goal, your
Yeah.
main goal in the first place in
That's right.
entering the profession. So you just try to stick to your goal, enjoy what you are doing. Um, many stories of success because of the teachers that they had, and think that someday you'll also be one of them. You would be one of them in trying to develop learners who would become successful, not just because of
Exactly.
being financially stable, but in life in general.
That's right. That's right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Great, great. Yes.
I I wholeheartedly agree with
I
you. Yeah, we have problems as teachers, especially in the Philippines, you know, monetary, financial, economic, special family feed, and you know, but you I could see how our teachers back home in the Philippines try to, you know, face those challenges even at their own expense. You know, they spend their own money to be able to do some things for the students in the school, and that is really very outstanding and very inspiring actually.
Yes.
But I have a question. Yeah, in your bio notes that I read, I saw. I am very interested in finding out about what you said, that you are an industry collaborator
Mhm.
and also a socio-cultural advocate. Can you please tell us about that?
Okay, yeah, we try to reach out to industries, and we try to touch their CSR components, their corporate social responsibility components, so that we could somehow provide more opportunities to students. And not just that, even on the developing of competencies, it's because when you're in the academe, you would want to produce graduates
Yeah,
who are competent with regards
right.
vis-a-vis the demands of the industries. And
Correct.
how would you know? How would you know? Through tracer studies, through the feedback of the students. But actually, you could reach out. In the academe, you could reach out to your partner industries. Try to know what's happening in the ground. And we try to do that. We try to scan many industries, especially here in Calamba, and we try to know what are those competencies that have yet to be fully developed, which are essential in the workplace. They are already working, and yet that's what we are trying to say here. Hilaw pero nakaka-graduate na, and we should remedy. It should be part of our responsibility in the academe, not because they are already graduates, bahala kayo dyan.
Uh-huh, uh-huh,
Not
uh-huh.
our responsibility anymore. But we really need to do something to remediate. So we try to go to the industries, try to talk with them, and now we have already a partner industry, and it's a sustainable program. We deliver remediation programs on communication skills, on mathematical ability,
Oh, very good.
which were not fully developed when they were still in school.
In call.
And
Uh-huh, uh-huh.
they were scholars, those were fully funded by the industries, and we in the academe are the ones who deliver the modules and the contents for that. So it's a nice gesture, and it's also a nice program really to connect the academe and then the industry. It's because in the first place we should be meeting, we should be collaborating, we should share information. And another thing, as a social cultural advocate,
Advocate.
in,
Uh-huh.
in the academe, I really think that we really need to infuse the value, the love for heritage, the love for culture, and the love for
Yeah.
history.
Okay. Okay.
It's who
Yeah.
we are. And
Very
because of
good.
that, I was part of I co-founded an organization here in Calamba. We call it the Calamba Cultural, Historical, and Heritage Society.
Wow.
Calamba is where Jose Rizal was born. And
Yeah. Uh-huh.
there was no organization then related
Wow.
to that. So we formed that. Our key collaborators were those coming from the government, from the tourism sector, from the academe, which I somehow represented, and also from the Rizal Shrine,
Right, right. Uh-huh.
the head for that museum. So we are always engaging in those activities. And on my part, it's part of educating the
Correct. Correct.
other people, of course, about history and culture of Calamba.
Thank you. It's very sad. Many of our children nowadays know better how to use, how to manipulate their gadgets, but very low sila sa yung mga um, historical facts about their even their own provinces. Yung mga kahit na basic, ano. And I am so happy that you put an emphasis to that. Now, I would like to go back to the industry collaboration that you talk about. So the remediation that you provide the students that were your previous graduates, you do something like a continuing education program with them. Now, who pays for those courses? Do the industries pay for them to get that, or do the students or the employees have to pay it themselves?
Okay. Well, when we tried to have exploratory talks with different industries, there was this one industry who really would want to take care of their employees, and one way of taking care of their employees is providing continuous education. It's because one of their problem is that how could we promote these individuals if one, they are not really academically competent or qualified? Is because some of them are not even graduates in college, but they know they perform well on their job, but because of certain competency requirements and academic credential requirements, it would be very difficult for them to promote these employees. So that's where we came in. Okay, we talked with them. They may not really be our graduates in the institution. But we provide them with the certificates. We provide them with the training also, and the company, the industry funds for everything.
Very good.
They are full scholars and they are full-time parents. They are also full-time employees, and at the same time they are part-time students. So we try to adjust and we really try to provide for them. It's because the company delivered in their promise in providing them with full support with regards to scheduling, full support with regards to tuition fees. So it's really a corporate social responsibility from an industry, but we were the ones really who hooked them into that.
Right. Oh, very good. Very good. Yeah. Industries are now required to have their CSR programs, right? And yeah, I salute those industries that really take it very seriously para yung kanilang ano, when they develop the employees, who's going to benefit? Sila din, di ba? Yeah. Maybe you want to mention one of the industries that you think is really, really, very strong at their CSR.
Yeah. Shout out to Furukawa. It's FEAP, Furukawa Electronic Auto Parts Philippines. It's a Japanese owned
company.
Japanese-based company which employs many Filipinos. Even those who have not yet graduated from college, who have not yet earned their degrees in college, they are already employed in that industry, in that company.
Oh, excellent.
Wow. So,
excellent.
Okay, right. Doc, thank you very much for sharing. And we will talk about industry partners, that I can give you more about industry partners. When it comes to maybe you are good, your school is good also in training on communication. There are so many customer service, how will we say, outsourcing in there that they need that very much. So we will talk about partnering with this companies. But Doc, I am very interested because you are one of the accreditors in PACU-COA,
Oh,
Philippine Association of Colleges and Universities Commission on Accreditation. I salute to those educators that they are accreditors or accreditor of this of the PACU COA. Tell me or tell us about, especially doctor, especially sa mga schools na nagpa-accredit, what do you do on this, and what are the qualifications of the universities and colleges that they will be accredited?
Well, there would be different degrees or different levels of accreditation from the candidate status, level 1, level 2, level 3, up to the level 4. And as you go up the ladder, that would somehow be an indication of your commitment to quality and your level of
Yes.
quality at the moment. So whether you are at par with the standards spelled out in the different levels. So it's a voluntary act. So when an institution would subject themselves to PACU-COA accreditation, it's same as saying that we would want to improve by trying to invite an external body to look into
right,
our
right.
operations.
Correct. An outside monitor ba? So, kasi from the inside, you might not know what's wrong, what's lacking, what you're good at. Very good, very good.
Okay.
Oh, teka.
Thank you very much. Tita Josie, I'm sorry, Tita Paset. Let's
Yeah.
ask Tita Josie also. Okay,
Yeah,
Tita
okay.
Josie, I think you have a question too.
Okay.
Yes,
Yeah.
every time they feature or focus on Dr. Amihan, there is an acronym of UPHSB. What does that mean?
Okay, it's the University of
Perpetual.
Perpetual Help System, DALTA. And I'm with the DALTA system, and it's in Calamba.
Oh,
Okay, all right.
Yeah.
So how many branches Perpetual
system,
Health
yeah.
has?
Well, we belong to a bigger system. It's University of Perpetual Health, and the system has two subsystems. It's the DALTA system and the Jonelta system. The
What is
Jonelta
that?
system, Jonelta is a combination of the names of the founders, Jose,
Oh, okay.
and
Mm.
they have 9 campuses for the Jonelta system. And
Oh.
for the DALTA system, DALTA is represented by Daisy Laperal and
Oh.
Antonio Laperal Tamayo. Those are the founders, by the
Oh
way.
my God.
Oh.
And we have 3 campuses. Las Piñas is our main campus in the system. And one is in Molino, that's in Bacoor. And another one, the youngest campus of the system, is in Calamba.
Calamba. That's where you are.
Mm.
Yes.
So how many students you got from this
The
three
entire system.
I'm not
from
quite
these three
sure with the
branches?
I'm sorry, I'm not quite sure with the exact number of enrollees at present. I would have to make a wild estimate because I'm just more of concentrated on a particular
Calamba.
campus. But I think as of now, because we really suffered because of the K-12 vacuum with regards to college enrollment.
True.
Another thing is because of the pandemic, a lot of students really transferred to the public schools. Somehow
True.
we suffered with the enrollment. I think we are now with
True.
around 10,000 enrollees for Las Piñas alone or for the entire system. Not quite sure, but the number is in there, and we have also many foreign students enrolled, and that's the opportunity which really opened because of the pandemic. So a bit of give and take, we could say.
Do you do
But
online?
doctor,
Yes.
Do you
Yes.
do online graduate courses?
Yes.
Like-
okay.
Yes.
Before you ask that, Doctor Tita Paset,
Okay.
before you ask that, I will just have to give Dr. Amihan a chance in regards to the question of Tita Paset. If you can just tell us about the advertisement about your school in the graduate school. Okay.
Yes, of course.
Here. Here. Mhm.
Yeah, the institution is on the autonomous level already, and that's the
Oh, very
highest
good.
level
Very good.
that
Good.
the CHED could recognize. So we are already recognized as being as well. So it really speaks volume of the quality of
Of the,
education
of,
that we provide. And we are really centered on values. The founders would really highlight on values. Although we are University of Perpetual Health, guided by virtues of Mother of Perpetual Health, we are really inclined towards promoting Christian values and global participation as well. We are not really limiting ourselves, and we are not restricting access for better education through us by other students of different religions. So we do not really distinguish, we do not really discriminate in a sense with regards to religion. And it's really our phrase, and it's really our push to have graduates who have the character. We believe as an institution that character building is nation building.
right,
And
exactly.
we consider ourselves perpetualites as helpers of God. That's really our main motto. And we, in everything that we do in the classroom level, we try to infuse that, and we try that our students would also try to embrace that kind of idea and principle.
Yeah, of course, value is not a commodity of just one religion. For example, kindness, that's in all religions. But you don't consider yourself a a school. For example, I'm giving you one of the very famous schools in Manila, the Jesuit school. They're really distinguished, as Catholic university. How about you? You are not.
Now, we are not really a Catholic university,
Correct,
but
correct.
we promote Christian
Of
values.
course. Okay, okay, very nice. Oh, okay. Now,
Wow.
may I have a question, Judy?
Okay.
Yeah. You are from reading your bio, I understand that you're a very prolific researcher. What usually are your topics in your research? Are they all on education or industry? Or can you please tell us about some topics of your research?
Well, I would want to believe that I'm a combination of psychology and education, and it's a
Uh-huh.
good mix.
Right.
Especially as an educator, it's a good mix. Really, you would
Very
have
good. Very good.
better understanding of human behavior, and you would want to deliver the learning, and that's the best way, I think, for us to be able to really penetrate our
Mhm.
students and trying to understand them. And my areas of interest would
Research.
really
Uh-huh.
revolve around that, although in social sciences in general, but it's really more of psychology and education in general. And it's really depending also on the need of the time. If there would be a particular year wherein I could see that there really is a need to do a research about a particular problem, is because it's a critical concern, especially
Yeah.
that it would influence, it would affect education, then I'll be doing a research about that. And true
Right.
enough,
Right.
and that's a good thing. It's because when you would be doing research that are very, very timely, then you would really be highly accepted for presentation and publication. It's because those
Uh-huh.
are points really for discussion at the moment.
Uh-huh. Are
Mhm.
you
True.
researchers? I'm sorry. Are your researchers like involve, or do they involve, the elementary grades or the secondary grades? Because you know what, we have a problem from the latest PISA
Yeah.
results 2018. We did terribly.
Yes.
So I am just wondering if your research or your other faculty members had looked into that.
Well, PISA is on the global level. It's an
Yeah, that's
international
true.
level,
Uh-huh.
and it's on a macro level assessment, and it's a bit high stakes, if we could say. But
Yeah.
even on the classroom level, the teacher should be able to conduct researches that would really be helpful in informing their practice. But in the general level, I think there should be a national national push for that to conduct really a comprehensive research is because it's not something that's just confined to a particular locality or a particular level. That problem is a macro level
National. Yeah.
problem that may be a contribution of bits and pieces of the
Correct.
micro
Yeah.
of the micro things, of course,
Yeah.
happening.
Mm-mm.
But
Yes, yes.
there should be a push from the national government on that. The most recent, if I could say, um, research that's really geared towards the reform was long before, I think, in the 1980s with the EDCOM commission, wherein they really provided lots of information, and it really led to many reforms in our education, and it led to separating higher education from the basic education and others.
Uh-huh.
And we need a research such as that, okay, is
Yeah.
something that would really ignite and something that would really provide information that is very comprehensive.
Yeah, your PhD is in
Okay.
curriculum and
Thank you.
instruction, no?
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Yes. Thank you. Tita Paset, we will give also. Where is Tita Josie? Tita Josie, I know you have
She's there.
more questions.
Well, the
Okay.
last part of your bio says that you went to Indonesia and you deliver some lectures. What were the topic of your lectures in Indonesia?
Yeah, that was a nice topic. It's about teachers being joyful teachers so that we could have joyful learners. In context of education, since because of globalization, we really need to respond, including standards. In the Philippines, we follow a particular standard through the PPST, the Philippine Standards for Professional Teachers. But in a global scale, well, in a regional scale, we already developed competency standards for Southeast Asian educators.
Mm.
Okay? And on that framework, at the center, we provided a figure for that. At the center of everything would be a joyful learner. And all those competencies surrounding it would really contribute so that we would have joyful learners. So I was there trying to promote it and trying, of course, to make the teachers understand what are the different competencies required. There are 4 general competencies, and for each general competency, there would be many competencies, and it may be different with the framework, the competency framework, the national competency framework in the Philippines. It's also different in Indonesia, but we really need to align our competencies with that regional framework, and it's already being adopted by the Southeast Asian nations, the
Nations.
SEATF, the Southeast Asian Teacher Competency Framework, and it was relatively new at that time in 2019. Not all
Wow.
institutions were aware of it, so it's a part also of promoting it. It's a part of information campaign. So they were looking for a resource person who could better deliver it, especially on their Indonesian Education Day. The good thing is that we have a good relationship with the Embassy of Indonesia then in the Philippines. Yeah, and up to now we have a very good relationship with them. So they know us, they know me personally, and they tried to reach out to me
Very nice.
for me to be able to deliver.
Excellent.
Wow.
I love
Okay.
that. Yeah.
So thank you very much, Dr. We are staticking right now. Dr. Amihan, wow, this is so, 1 hour is not enough to give us more messages, and your journey is
More questions.
very rich.
Yeah.
We don't have much time, and we want to go to our quotes. If we have some quotes in there that you prepared, guys, to inspire our listeners, our parents, our students. Let's go to Tita Josie first, if you have.
Okay. Mine for tonight is this. If you focus on the hurt, you will continue to suffer.
Okay.
If you focus
Wow.
on the lesson, you will continue to grow.
Very good. Very good.
Wow, that's
Very
so
good.
beautiful, Tita.
I agree.
Okay,
agree.
Tita Pasit.
Yeah. First of all, thank you, Dr. Amihan. You know, I think I recognize a teacher here who is into values, who is into caring for the learner, the customer, you know,
Yes.
of our schools. And I see that, and I'm very happy for about your advocacies. Now, I would like to this from Albert Einstein, this quote, and I think this ties up very nicely with you know, your advocacy, your general principle of education, general philosophy, I mean, of education. Okay, it says, try not to become a person of success, but be a person of value.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah.
And
I
he
think-
epitomized that. We have our privilege
Wow.
with that.
Success
Yes,
is nice.
thank you.
But
Yes,
value is better.
Tita Pasit, thank you very much for that.
Very.
Dr. Amihan?
Yes, well, I would always stick with the general philosophy that I really have, and that the for you to be involved really in the academe and in the teaching profession, you must instill into yourself the main purpose of education is really to humanize the soul, okay? And the soul is should be our target, and it's through values, okay? We would hate to have PhDs who are translated as puro hangin ang dala, or in
I love that.
the higher the education that you get, the less human you become. It should be the other way
The
around.
other way.
The
Thank
more
you.
education that you get, the more human you should become.
Yes,
Exactly.
yes. I love
Exactly.
that. Thank you very much.
Yeah.
Okay. Sigunduhan ni Tita Judy, yung sinabi ni Doctor. By the way, Tita Pasit and Tita Josie, Dr. Amihan, we have the same bachelor's degree. It's BS psychology. So that's why we are in that advocacy of not just only study like that, or e-learning or digital electronics, but it is all about being a human being. And my quotes in here is this: if you know what you want, especially to the teachers, if you know why you are a teacher, you are more likely to get it. So as a teacher, we expect the teachers to educate students, to learn students, to become a citizen that is productive to our community. So if you know what you want, you are more likely to get it. Thank you very much,
Exactly.
Dr. Shielilo.
Shielilo.
Doc, thank you very much, Dr.
Thank you.
Amihan, Tita Pasit, and Tita Josie. It's
I'm
a
very
beautiful
impressed.
interview. We
I'm
learn
very
a lot.
impressed.
Yes.
Yeah, very impressed, Dr. Amihan.
Very
Good
impressed.
luck.
He
Good
is-
luck. Good luck to
Pleasure.
you.
And also, he's a very young guy with all these accomplishments. It's a real salute to you, Doctor.
Yeah,
Thank
you.
very good.
Thank you very much.
Okay,
Thank
good
you.
night,
Thank you.
everybody. Bye-bye.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.
Yes.
Good luck.
Thank you. Bye-bye. Yes.